Welcome to the DSQ podcast with Blake Lawson and Dakota Reynolds.
All right, and welcome to DSQ Qatar. Oh, hold on. We're going to have to stop and go for about 10 seconds. Hold on.
All right, hey, special delivery from last race. It's DHL with the pit stop timings. The fastest pit stop was Red Bull, specifically with Max with a 2.09 seconds on lap 11, and the slowest one was Aston Martin for Lance Stroll with 14.68 seconds on lap 9 because they weren't ready. All right, now we can get into the show.
All right, now actually Qatar. Now that we've served our 10-second stop and go and every single other penalty type we had this week. Oh boy, this is going to be one of those episodes, but in a little bit. Probably in like 5 minutes because FP1 and the sprint was boring.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and vote for Qatar being taken off the sprint calendar.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Oscar. But, I mean, that works for Oscar because that way he can be the only sprint winner in Qatar.
Hey, there you go. 100% of sprint wins.
Oscar Piastri.
Oscar
Let's
Piastri.
But yeah, Qatar, of course. Hey, by the way, spoiler alert, we do actually have the pit stop on time this week, so
Yeah,
we'll have to do that
I'll
again.
actually have that stats for you.
But before, it was very heavily, basically confirmed, but now it is official. We will be getting an 11th team in 2026. It will be Cadillac, GM, Ferrari.
Ferrari, as far as I've heard. Ferrari engine for at least, I think, the first 2 years, 26 and 27. And then 28, they should be using their own GM engine.
And Michael Andretti seem to be the holdup there, so no Michael Andretti with the project as of now, but Mario will be the chairman. So, okay. But yeah, 11th team, finally, something we've been waiting for. Woo!
Woo, baby!
That's what we've been waiting for.
I can't roll
Don't
a
sue me,
D20 for
Charlie.
anything anymore.
Nope. We'll get to that. All right. Nothing race-wise. Or, sorry, no liveries. Changes. Alpine still rocking their black-pink one.
They are in the area.
Yep. Kick this week. No stake.
No stake.
Get your dirty gambling shit out of here.
It's fine, because I just call them Sauber every weekend anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to get into FP1 and sprint quality and all that, because honestly, there's not a whole lot. I was going to just breeze through it.
Yeah, no. Day one was pretty much just a wash. I was like, all that there really is upgrades, and there's not even a lot of that, because let's be honest, people, this is the next to last race. Not a lot of people are going to be bringing stuff. Lewis took his 4th or 5th total gearbox assembly.
Oops.
That's it for that. That's for the gearboxes and the power units. That's it. And then upgrades themselves. Sauber has a circuit-specific front wing flap trim. And Alpine has a reprofiled front wing elements and a shorter nose.
Gotcha. Yep.
That's it. That's the
And
entire.
important note: both cars are running the same spec. Just want to make sure that point is known. We'll put that Chekhov's gun over here. Yeah. FP1. Even before that, there were some changes to the track. We had some gravel tracks. The little 30-degree cut on the curbs have been taken away. They've added gravel a lot. Of course, the little secondary blue line to assist track limits next to the white line. That's about it. I guess I did shorten the DRS by something. Like a small.
A couple inches in relevance to an F1 car.
Yeah, nothing. So
Nothing.
only thing I have FP1 is Lawson being Lawson and blaming Fernando for being in the way. And of course it was Lance Stroll.
Alonso. Nope. That's
Lance
Stroll.
Lance Stroll. So, hey Lawson, we got to talk, bud. Actually, let's get to a meaty part here. I liked Lawson. Last year I thought he was okay. I thought he was coming back. He was okay, but then, man, I'm not liking what he's doing here. He's being super complainy, super bitchy. I would argue to a certain ethnic group, potentially, but, you get into it to everybody. So, hey, Liam, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't even have a fucking drive next year, you're complaining an awful fucking lot.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down.
Further mind, Racing Bull's the only one because I know they're changing it next year, so I might as well get used to another new name. Still has a seat open. They're the only one that still officially has a seat open, and it's not Yuki's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Liam, shape up, both on and off the track, if you want to be in the seat next year for that. But yeah, of course it's a sprint, last sprint of the year. Woo!
Why run them this late? Just run them until like the 5th to last race, and then just the last few races can just be races, and that's it.
Especially so close, it's like went a few races, had one, a few races, had a couple, went a big gap, and then boom, 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 basically.
Yeah.
Why? It's like, oh, you need to shove them in at the end, like, or don't. Yeah, no. Take Qatar off, even though it's already confirmed for sprint next year. Boo. So, shortened sprint qualifying. Nothing too much happened. Because it's boring. Literally, I didn't even make myself wake up for either of these sessions. I was, because it was Black Friday here in the States. It's not a real holiday. It's a commercialized holiday. I was off work.
Holiday.
Yeah. Well, I say it because I had a day off. So I was like, I had every opportunity to just wake up and do it, and I chose not to. Yeah.
So you had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did not.
Yeah. Kind of your run-of-the-mill for now. Out Q1, Colapinto, Zhou, Esteban, Yuki, and Checo. Not really that surprising with that lineup anymore. SQ2, you lose K-Mag, Stroll, Valtteri, Alex, and Fernando. And then your top 3 is Lando, George, and Oscar. Pretty much. Hey, guess what? Order really didn't change that much, besides one little thing. Did have some incidents, and some weird ones. So, what is the thing we always get onto? We always bitch about popping up on the multi-viewer stream?
The timings for the safety car lines.
Yep. Never enforced. Never brought up, just noted every session, whatever. Only 3 drivers did not trigger that SC time thing for the sprint quali. That being said, and here's the first of many FIA decisions this weekend I'm sure we're going to be talking about. Checo and Yuki get reprimands for driving unnecessarily slow and not reaching their delta times. Because, and I read Yuki's, he didn't want to speed up because there was a car behind him and he didn't want to impede them. But the stewards were like, oh, hey, you had enough time to speed up. It's like, so you want the driver to be safe. So he made the safe call, but you're fine. Okay. So here's the first 2 that these have kind of been enforced. They were just reprimands. Nothing happened between either of them, but interesting. Whatever. From that, let's get to the sprint. Like I said, 37 instances is the number I have down of SC times from each session. Like multiple for each session. It's insane. Yeah. FIA is really going to have to, and they've, to jump ahead a little bit, and I think I mentioned it last week of talking about the NHL, and they did their player safety video with some high-profile hits to the head video, where it's like, oh, they've never done this. This is awesome. FIA is reportedly going to be doing some videos on the decisions for this weekend. So, oh my God, are we getting accountability? Probably not.
I would only hope so, but I doubt it.
Yeah. But to the sprint, did change a couple things. So Checo and Colapinto start from the pit lane. Mm-hmm. Moment of contention, not contention necessarily, but questioning of Colapinto passing Checo on the green light for pit exit. Checo not going. Huh?
It's fair game.
Yep. I don't know if Checo was not paying attention or is had to... you have to wait for all the cars to pass, right? Was he just not thinking all the cars were passed, or...
I can't tell you what was in his head.
But, so, more Checo, and we're going to have a talk about... We're going to... Actually, let's just get out of the way now, because I'm very sick of it. I made a tweet about it, and I make a tweet out of it pretty much every week. Get new fucking material. I was trying to make that loud, but not actually loud. Enough with the Checo shit stuff. Enough. That horse is far beyond dead. Stop. The cow was milked. The horse is dead. Whatever. You've done way too much with it. It's enough. We get it. It's probably, I guess, after this race, it's turned around like he's probably not going to race after Abu Dhabi. Okay, cool. So you can leave it alone. You're not Christian Horner. You're not Helmut Marko. Shut the fuck up. I'm sick. Get new material. You have an entire Williams team to poke fun at.
Stop. We're already dead.
Yeah, also this one needs to stop being beat as well. Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, no, seriously, knock it the fuck off.
Crashes.
Enough. Even if he does fucking do whatever the fuck he does in the pits, like that, like, just whatever. Enough. Much like y'all, we need to move on. Yeah, so that bad start just puts Checo in last, doesn't really help, so they basically pull him in for a rare pit stop, do some car setup changes, as well as they actually did that. That's why he's starting from the pit, just trying to get stuff work. Apparently, and this is something I learned, lowered the car, and it worked. Or sorry, they raised the car, and it worked. So that was the big gap, was they just did some adjustments, used Checo for some testing, and yep, Max Verstappen wins. Hey, spoiler alert, Max Verstappen wins this one. What else do I have for here? George, Oscar did a little bit of shenanigans. It's a short sprint. It was really boring. Nothing happened. Until the last corner. Lando Norris secured a victory and that's
Hit the brakes
Oscar
and it'll fly right by.
It was kind of, I mean, it looked to me smooth. I didn't realize what happened at first. Like, oh wait, did Oscar just get that? So as some, I guess, payback and thank you for Brazil letting Oscar win, of course, makes him the only Qatar sprint winner. Cool. Of course, this one didn't matter as much, so how much of an empty gesture is it? I guess it's the thought that counts, but does it really? And whatever, I'll give Lando a little bit because he did technically go against the team orders here.
Yeah, no, team was telling him, yeah, no, there's no point in that. Don't do that.
So you get a little bit of credit there, Oscar. Yeah, Oscar, you get the credit actually for that.
He does technically get the credit.
Yeah.
He gets the
Lando,
win for that.
You get a little bit of credit for that. Hey, on this offseason, work with a PR team, man. Please.
I mean, he did okay this weekend.
For the sprint, the GP, well, there's a lot of not people happy with GP again. The Chekhov's gun is over there. We'll get to it.
We'll get to that.
Yep. Your winner, of course, Oscar, then Lando, then George. Enemy number one, apparently, now. Of multiple enemy number ones here. I just have Snorfest, and then did you see who gave out the sprint plaques?
I did not.
KB, the dude that takes the life hack videos and then is like the simple thing, does just like the simple thing.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah,
The
it's like they're selling his shit.
Hands
Yeah,
out. Okay.
throws his hands up, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
KB. I was like, they sell shit at Walmart.
It's hard to like describe what it is on a very like audio only podcast, but it's the dude does the hands out like
it's obvious.
Palms out toward you like, yeah, that was obvious, idiot.
Yeah, just like yeah. So I was like that. He did it. He's like, because I think George was actually like, "Hey, you're the thing guy," and he does it while they're talking. So that was cool. That was the only thing. Yeah, KB like, woo. All right, so sprints out of the way. Let's get to quali. Unless I'm missing anything. Because again, I feel like we're just trying to get through as much as we can. So I did actually do the notes this week of like an order for stuff. It's got everything kind of in like the first 5 and then GP, and I put a giant box because I know it's going to take up 90% of this bullshit.
Yeah.
My notes. My paper's so ripped up because my pens were just not having it this week. Back to our qualifying session for our regular GP. Your Q1 exits not, ladies and gentlemen, not Checo Perez. Woo! He didn't mess it up.
Woo!
Your Q1 outs are Esteban, Colapinto, Nico. What's an odd one? That's more your odd Q3 exit.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson and Alex Albon. Yeah. Don't worry, it gets worse. As I drop my notebook. Yuki with a last second. I thought Yuki was going to be out. Last second little improvement, manages to just skirt by. Yeah. So he's good there, at least into Q2, where he goes out along with Lance Stroll, Valtteri, Zhou, and Pierre Gasly. So
pretty high placement from Zhou and Valtteri.
Yep. A good Q2 exit for both into Q2, I guess, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Moving on. Quali, woohoo. Your pole position is Max. Asterisk. And then George, and then Lando.
Ooh, your top 3?
Mm-hmm. And then we had another driving unnecessary slowly thing. This one, and by the way, I did such a good job explaining the Carlos Sainz thing last week, apparently.
Yeah.
No, it's sarcasm. I explained it correctly, just not very well. Like, not not using words very well, just like long-winded and stupid.
No, fair enough.
But I was correct, which is the best kind. Sorry, it's technically correct, which is the best kind of correct, but whatever.
That is technically correct.
Which is the best kind of correct. So Max, I guess, impedes George just enough because they're both on warm-ups. He gets, and let me see if you've heard this one before, a one-place grid drop.
No, I can't say that I've ever heard that one before.
Yeah, and that would have been a cool thing to look up. I don't think I did it. Did you?
I sure did not.
Yep. Surely if it's happened, we'll know about it. Maybe I'll enter it later. Probably not. Yep. So he loses his pole to George. Max, reportedly, very upset about it. Very upset about it. Of course, just everything has not confirmed, but reports of, calling out George, calling, like anything to fuck somebody over. He's nice in front of the camera. All that kind of stuff. So I hope you and your FI buddies are fucking proud of yourselves and stuff like that. So here's the anger starting. It's already kind of there, but there's going to be a lot of bad feelings, bad blood starting here. So let's just get to the race.
Let's get to it.
I feel like I'm really missing something. I know you'll stop me, but
if you don't remember it, it can't be that important.
Yeah, or I just didn't care. We did not have any pit starts, so that was no changes for Parc Fermé, which is interesting. It's been a while since I feel like we've had one of those.
Yeah, everyone always having to change stuff.
And we start off early in the formation laps. Oscar gets noted for driving erratically in the pit. So that was all. Like, we started up multi-viewer, and that was already sitting in there. Like, all right. Well, sorry. First, it was reported as Checo. Then it was updated to Oscar.
Yeah.
Again, before we even had anthems and all that was going. But blah blah blah, whatever. It's on. It's also like, we'll look at it after the race already. Like, okay, so I guess we'll just ignore that for 2 hours.
Tuck that away. That's their own Chekhov's
That's a mystery mouse we'll save for later, apparently. Lights out, away, not finishing it for copyright reasons. Lap 1, turn 1.
Just pain. I'm so sick of this pain. Why do I always have to be in pain?
Hulkenberg takes it, just loses control, just kind of loses his car, sends it into Esteban, who sends it into Colapinto, and it ends 2 of the 3 of them racers, and not the one who started it. Nico making it back to the pit to get all that changed out. Esteban and Colapinto both retired from the race, lap 1, turn 1, and no further investigation for that because it's lap 1, turn 1, so who gives a fuck?
Who cares?
It's only a few $1 million of damage and 2 racers out of this race.
Can't wait for the season to be fucking over.
That's your first. If you're angry now, we still have a lot of pages.
Hey, let's go a few turns down the fucking road.
Yeah. So I guess that incident wouldn't have happened. So I guess before the safety car goes out for that, because it was a safety car. Hello, safety car number 1. Hey, is that Lance Stroll? Oh God.
Just rip off the Band-Aid. Just rip it off.
Yeah, Alex and Lance make contact, and the way I have it written down, I think Lance should have the penalty, but I guess not. I guess Alex got the 10-second. No, Lance did.
No,
Lance
Lance definitely got the penalty.
Okay, you got another.
Alex got a different penalty later on.
Yep.
We'll fucking get to that.
I lost track of penalties. I wonder why. So, there goes Lance, and then he basically doesn't recover from that. Goes back out. Yeah, retire the car. Get the fuck out of here before you do more damage. Leave. Get out. Go.
Being a Williams fan is fucking pain.
Alex did manage to continue, but yep, not. And of course, he's getting damaged. So his arrow's compromised. His car's compromised. He's not going to be doing too much there. A little bit after that, Valtteri and Bottas.
And Liam Lawson.
What did I say? Valtteri and Bottas?
You said Valtteri and Bottas. Yep.
I just have it as Bott and Lawson. Go off. Go off in that word. Like I said, the pin is just killing me all weekend.
It's one of the earlier turns, I believe.
I don't even know what word it is I put there. It's definitely a word. It's not a turn number. Regardless, let's just get to it. Hey, Lawson got the penalty for there. There's penalty number 2 so far. 10-second. So Lance 10-second, Lawson 10-second penalty.
Something that was alluded to by the broadcast team while the safety car was going on, which, by the way, there was that safety car. While that was going on, Lewis having accusations of a false start, and he did jump it. It was very, very milliseconds, but he definitely jumped it. And yeah, it's a 5-second penalty for him.
Yeah, man, I wish we could have footage on our channel, because I think it's good, and we were talking just to prelude to talking about off-season content, of looking at all the false start penalties we've had this year, because we've had a lot this year, and how they all stack up and look against each other compared to Lando's at the beginning of the year, which got no further investigation compared to everybody else who has gotten the penalty for it. But yep, Lewis takes a 5-second penalty for his false start, and he knew it immediately.
Yeah, immediately apologize. Sorry about that, guys.
So don't worry, Lewis. It only goes down from here.
Especially for the team.
Yep. Fernando just loses some grip, tries to rejoin, almost takes out a Hulkenberg. Was it a Hulk?
I don't have that one.
I don't know. I mean, it was an NFA, so nothing there. Here's where we get good, or at least where I have get good. And this, I didn't actually put it together till now, of where did Lance hit Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Was it his right side by any chance?
It was indeed his right side.
So potentially there was a maybe broken piece of, let's say, side mirror on his right side from said collision.
So I did watch back the footage just to cover all angles of this and everything. Honestly, whenever he initially hits, it really doesn't look like it did anything. Like, the mirror really doesn't even look like it moved or anything, but I can't really see the front of it, obviously. And then whenever the mirror, like, goes away, it just fucking goes. Like, there's no, like, slow curving brake or anything. It's just there, and then it's not. The best image you have of that mirror is the broadcast thing where they did the replay and show it flying off and landing, and B, if you go and watch Nico's onboard footage, you can see it flying overhead.
Oh, nice. So yeah, so Alex loses a mirror. It is out of what turn? It's turn 1, yeah.
It's not even in turn 1. It's before turn 1, yeah. So it's on the straight.
So very clearly there. God, this is really it. This is the moment.
This is the moment. This is the pivot point. This is the butterfly moment.
So, it gets noted, not noted, but people, the stewards and marshals are aware of this. Broadcast is aware of it. Everybody's aware of this mirror.
There's a mirror on the thing.
We go through a couple of, hey, it's the slippery slick trick thing, which they do for debris for some reason. I don't know if they just have one button for that. They don't want to make another button. It goes to that. It goes to yellows. It goes to double yellows. Goes back to single yellows. It's still there. It's still there. It's still there. Hey, Valtteri, how are you?
He fucking smokes
There's
it.
no way he didn't do it on purpose. It's too perfect.
He I don't think he did, because he was being lapped, so he was moving out of the way.
Oh.
Yeah, he's being lapped by oh god, one of the Ferraris, I think.
Yeah,
It
probably.
was, I
Charles,
think it was Charles. Yeah, because I think Carlos was further back, and we'll get to that here in just a second.
It's all tied together.
Yeah,
Let's
it
get
is.
through
It
this.
is all tied together, but we are slowly pulling that string through the fucking loops. So he was getting out of the way for that. He absolutely smokes that mirror.
Nails it. Perfect. Like
Right in,
pinpoint precision.
like you can hear in the thing, like you can't see it as it's approaching, but you just hear, and it's like, oh, yep, no, that's it.
And there goes debris everywhere. Damn, that sucks. Nothing. Still kind of floating with some yellows, but nothing. And then suddenly, which was first? Lewis had the picture first, right?
Lewis had the puncture first. Sainz had the puncture second.
Mm-hmm.
However, both of them. So, I've watched this back as part of that as well. So Lewis, mentioned it like literally as he was getting into turn one, like, hey, we've got a fucking puncture. It was like check pressures and whatnot. We've got a puncture, and they start giving him plans on getting him set up and everything. This is like literally moments after Valtteri has smoked that mirror. Sainz literally seconds, like within 5 seconds after he's smoked that mirror, he's going through and is already like, he's driving past the pits before the mirror and is like, we need to check pressures, guys. I'm thinking about boxing because I think I might have a puncture. It's like, I'm going to stay out for now. And then as he gets into turn one, it's like, yeah, no, I've got a puncture. We need to box. So I don't think that Valtteri smoking it necessarily caused the punctures. It may have made them worse because they were on really, really old tires, like half of the race distance plus tires. But exacerbate the old tires with probably running over small shards of glass from when it initially flew off and impacted with the ground, because when it impacted on the ground, it was on the racing line, and then it sort of rolled into the dead center of the track. So I think they may have hit the glass. That shredded their tires as well, and they just went. It's always fun watching a puncture happen on a car because the tire's there, and now it's half gone.
Yep.
It's just like being slung to the side by the G-force.
Yep. So Qhaos. They realized that the first 2 days of this event was boring as shit. So yeah, both of them managed to get back to the pits. Lewis worse for wear. Carlos didn't really seem to have too much. Of course, some poor pit stops to go. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and get to it because obviously we have safety car after this. Because we'll get to Lewis's other one after this. By the way, Lewis has since served his 5-second penalty for the false start.
Yeah.
Hey, that pulls out a safety car. Maybe should have done that a little sooner there, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
While this is going on, Max is like, hey, GP? Not GP2, just GP. Don't think Lando slowed for the double yellows. Broadcast pulls up the onboard. Straight line. You never hear the engine give up.
Never start slowing down until you get to the end of the straight into the braking zone. They kept it pinned that entire time.
And would it affected the race? I mean, sorry. Was what are you doing unsafe at the current moment? Probably was fine. Is it against the rule? Absolutely it is.
Absolutely.
It's a very big safety thing.
Yes.
You are too... Especially waved yellows. Don't you have the actual rules?
I have the yellow flag rules. So yellow flag rules, single waved yellow flags mean the drivers must slow down and potentially change their course to avoid a hazard. That is, single waved must slow down. Double waved yellows indicate a significant hazard, and drivers must be ready to stop if necessary. That comes direct from the Williams F1 website because it's the first thing that pulled up when I searched for it. But that is the rules for single waved and double waved yellows. And we had, I think, both during this
We had everything.
incident.
We had everything but a red flag, basically.
Pretty much.
But yeah, and then you also have so let's get to the penalty. So, and this comes out a little bit later after some other stuff, but we'll go ahead and cover it. He gets the rare 10-second stop and go penalty for failing to slow during double waved yellows.
10-second stop and go. So you have to go into the pit lane as soon as possible. You have 3 laps to serve it. You drive to your pit box, you park up for 10 seconds, and then you go. They cannot work on the vehicle. They cannot make any changes. They can look at it, which is what they did. They made sure nothing was like wrong with the underneath or whatever, just inspecting it or whatever.
What's that?
Can't work on it. And back on the track you go.
So, and that's what, so I tried to calculate how many penalties in seconds. I was like, it's a 10-second penalty, but it's really more. It's really a 36-second penalty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, penalty there. Not. So basically, sorry, just getting distracted something off camera, off mic. We have it's a cat. Well, it's a cat versus a candle. This was about to happen. So we're making
That's literally playing with fire.
Yeah. Because it's cold. No, it's not cold. I mean, it's cold. Anyway, back on track. The harshest penalty that's not a DSQ is kind of the basic understanding, but everybody, God, Jolien was fucking on it in the post race. So like, oh, this seems super harsh. And again, you did this. There's precedent for this particular penalty, for this particular infringement.
I seem to have left my phone in my room, so I don't have it in front of me. But there were definitely precedents for this. I believe it was Austria 21. I don't remember who, and I don't remember the exact instance, but it was basically the exact same type of situation with double waved yellows, and 2 people got the 10-second stop and goes for that.
Yeah.
So there's precedence, and I think 2017 some race for Raikkonen also got it.
Of course. For what?
For what?
Which we also had that come back today from George.
That was great.
For what? Yeah, so there's precedent set. If this is a safety thing. This is not a fuck Lando thing. This is a safety
is a
thing.
major safety thing.
In an F2 race, either early this season or like last season, we had someone who they got basically thrown the book at for failing to slow during double yellows and almost hitting a fucking marshaller. So this is a serious thing. So I don't know about the harshness. It's precedent. Lando knew what he did. He made the choice, I guess. Now, as we said, I'll give some benefit to the point of like I don't think he did it maliciously. He's like, I'm going to do this. Fuck you, FIA, which I'm sure a lot of the drivers want to do. Yeah. But
like
there was a
whole
whole
business.
Oh yeah, it's not there. Sorry, not our business. A whole lot of stuff of like, yeah, there was definitely some confusion of like the yellow, and the quick yellow, and the double yellow, and whatever. And maybe they should have just called a VSC. None of this would have happened, or a full SC. None of this would have happened in the first place. But yeah, whatever calls made, up to the drivers, whatever. I guess the safety car also had, to get to the more gritty of it. Luckily, I watched someone posted the Ted's notebook, so I was watching. I guess they added a new like wing on the back of it that's slightly different and has different lights. I guess those were the lights that were not working, so they didn't get turned off when the rest of them were supposed to get turned off. So that's whatever they're talking about on the safety car lights.
Gotcha.
So anyway, 10-second stop and go for Lando Norris has to serve within 3 laps. Blah blah blah. All right, so let's go back to where we currently are. We are under a full SC while they get all that.
Car.
And basically, yeah, this is right before turn 1. This is the main straight, so safety car, very rare. Safety car going through the pits for like 4 laps.
Which is hilarious whenever you pull up the pit stop thing because it keeps counting them. And I noticed that on the thing you were looking up earlier as well on the official F1 website. It will count every single one of those.
Yeah,
I think
like
it's literally just the transponder going through that area, and it goes, all right, you're in the pits.
Yeah, so super weird. And this is where Lewis's day just gets worse. So apparently, so you're going through the pit lane on the SC or with the safety car. So everybody should be going the same speed. It's controlled by the safety car. somehow Lewis goes 12.5 kilometers over the pit limit. Again, that's what is it. That's what, again, another, I can't remember if Ted on the broadcast or Jolien said that or whoever said it. It's like, it's weird to happen, but clearly it happened. They have the data for it. So
Yeah.
to round out the penalty type bingo card for today, a full drive-through penalty
There you go.
for Lewis Hamilton. To which he is just like, cool, I'll fucking retire this goddamn car, basically. And Bono's like, no. 1, you'll get a penalty. 2, let's just try.
Let's do what we can, man. You got this.
So, of course, he has to come in and do his drive-through. Again, equates to what? That's if he didn't serve that, it's a
about a-
DSQ. But
yeah.
if that happened at a time where he couldn't serve it, like it was the end of a race, it'd be 20 seconds, right?
I think so. Something like that.
So, yeah. Man, they are really starting to pack up here. Let me just double check my notes because most of that was from memory. I guess this was during this SC. SC is winding down. At least so we think.
We're getting ready to go back racing.
And then suddenly, and we'll go from our perspective, Checo up in P5 again. This is good. Checo, maybe we'll stop hearing the Checo shit for a little bit here. He's in P5. Everybody's pit. We got tires going on, and he just dropped down the entire fucking timing table. What the hell?
He's just stuck there. No, he's moving.
Ish.
He's very slow. Okay, he's stuck again. What's going on?
Checo in the back just loses grip and spins it. And then as he's trying to get back onto, like, doing the, quick little high gas little fishtail turn 90-degree thing.
Burnout.
Yeah, I guess it is burnout. I was just thinking the maneuver, but yeah. Well, I think the burnout's at the start. That's more the thing, but whatever. J-turn. Super fast J-turn, whatever. His hydraulics decide to leave. And he just...
I had my head out.
Yep. Gone. Just gone. So he's just slowly... And leads to an investigation, which will spoil the end of the thing of nothing, because it really wasn't his fault, necessarily, of his hydraulic system just gave up. So he's just crossing the track slowly, basically. Also, at the same time, completely unrelated, Nico Hulkenberg also just fucking loses it and gets beached. So safety car was actually in at this point. It was ending. Safety car has to come back out. Checo somehow... I don't remember. Does Checo... No, Checo doesn't get it back. Yeah, so I don't remember them having to take both cars out, but I know both cars had to be taken back, so... Because they were both done. Like, he was beached. So...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't show that because they were still showing everything else. They're
Yeah.
going over all the penalties where they didn't show. And then maybe Checo was in a good spot. They could just like push that bitch off. And then like Nico, that was the one they had to be a little more trained out or whatever. But yeah, this chaos. And we're not even done yet. At this point, okay, let's settle down. Everything's clear. Lewis, we're back racing. Green flag, whatever. Doesn't Max Verstappen on his restarts. We know how this goes. Lewis does his drive second, doesn't retire, bitchy about it. Fair enough, Lewis. I get you. Kevin Magnussen and Alexander Albon. This was the Alex penalty. Spoiler alert. This one might be Alex's fault. According to FIA, it is. I don't remember this one at this point. Contact, right?
I don't either. I know it was contact, but I don't remember the actual incident itself, which I know sounds like convenient fucking fangirly bullshit, but like
There's so much.
there's so much.
So fucking much.
I have 2 pages for my actual like race write-up. I only ever usually use 1, and usually not even the full thing. I have 2 almost full pages for this shit, and most of it's penalties.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, Alex causes a collision. There's another 10-second penalty, which he serves under a stop. So, yeah. Penalty.
Oh, I do remember it because it was the fucking Alex was on the inside because he couldn't be anywhere else because he wouldn't be able to see anyone. He was on the inside and I guess pushed him outward, but actually hit him the first time, and then pushed him out the second time, and then the third time, K-Mag fucking made it past him and went, "Fuck you."
Oh yeah, I remember that now. I wonder if he'll get community service for that one. Probably not.
Probably not.
All right.
They'll ask. He'll say, "Suck my balls, mate."
And before we get to the end of the race here, and yes, there is something I didn't mention specifically, because we'll get to that. 5 cars DNF'd. Can you guess what the lead we're bearing on this one that everybody knows about? Russell also with a safety car infringement, so he gets a 5-second penalty post-race, but checkered flag is waved by, oh no, we didn't see.
Who cares?
And all said and done, your top 3 is Maximilian, 2 words, Verstappen, Charles Chuck Leclerc, and Oscar Piastri Leclerc, finishing up your podium. Leclerc boys 2 and 3, welcome back to the Max Verstappen podcast. When the video feed works, it did not the first time. They did get it the second time. Which, let's just do this cooldown room real quick. Good line from Oscar when talking about the incident I forgot to mention. We'll talk about it now. In the pit lane. Who is it? It is Fernando and...
Oh, God. I know what you're talking about, where they were drag racing.
Yeah. Fernando was in the slow lane, and I can't remember who the other driver was, but Oscar called it the slowest slowest
drag
race in history. So that was funny. Good job, Oscar. Yes.
Always with the humor. Love him.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but it was Fernando and somebody. Fernando was on the outside and wouldn't want to give up the spot, and so he didn't. All right. Are we done? Can we get to the post-race kind of stuff?
I mean, we can.
Well, not the actual post-race stuff, but like the stuff. The not penalty stuff.
Yeah.
Because we get some points. Because who was P8?
P8. Zhou Guanyu!
Finally. 23 of 24 races, ladies and gentlemen. Sauber is on the board with 4 whole ass points.
Points is points.
Points are points. And not to mention that, but due to the placement, even though he finished just outside the points, thanks Lando, you fuck, Valtteri is no longer 23 in the 20 driver leads up to 22.
Let's go!
Hi, Logan. I'm sorry. I miss you.
Where are you?
We're not sorry, actually, apparently. I don't know. Maybe we are.
I mean, at this point...
At this point, this entire year is a write-off for Williams. Both
Williams just looking at it. Williams, after Franco does his first race. Maybe Logan was the problem after his second race.
Everybody's the problem.
Maybe Logan wasn't the problem.
But yeah, so Zhou Guanyu getting the first points. I think that leads us into... Check the list. Hold.
Good, but I did want to... No, I'm good. I did want to bring up, though, a couple of post-racy bits from actual post-race. So, we're F1 nerds. We love F1. We're also massive fucking aviation nerds.
Oh, yes.
This being the Qatar Airways fucking...
Qatar Grand Prix. So Qatar was on the logo 3 times, both in the Qatar Airways logo, and then it was Qatar Airways Qatar Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Stupid. Very
stupid. But it was a Qatar Airways Grand Prix.
Or sorry, Qatar, I guess is how we're supposed to be pronouncing that.
We're not going back there. Qatar Airways. The little podium thing that they put the car on because you won, you're the winner. It has the screen and everything. Just before that, it had little 3-4 left, little landing strip runway thing going up to it. And I did check, and the airport that is in Losai, I don't remember the name because I left my phone and I can't remember shit. But the airport that is in that city does indeed have a 3-4 left and right. So,
woo. We love that. We love accuracy in aviation homage.
You love to see it. Also, Charles drove that race with no drink system.
Oh yes, he did do that.
He went full Kimi Räikkönen.
The drink.
And did not have the drink.
So Luckily, it was a much later race because he would have died. Like not even speculation. He would have died.
We would have had 6 cars
last year.
retiring. He would have absolutely retired the car and be like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
this. I have almost died from this team so many times throughout my race or throughout my career. I am not dying from fucking thirst or whatever. Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Yep. Which apparently him and Pierre immediately went to Dubai. Like they already had in Dubai airport, not Dubai. Excuse me. Yeah, no, it was Dubai. I don't know why they flew to Dubai to go to Abu because like Abu's like right across the Gulf. So
Maybe they got a free flight on Qatar Airways.
yeah, I guess or something. Yeah, it's surprisingly not that far. I was actually looking at that. I'm like, oh, I guess all this stuff is pretty close. But yeah, they have a nice little graphic ready for him. So yeah, Charles was ready to get the fuck out of there. And I'm sure let's get this Qhaos gun loaded. I'm sure Pierre was tired of the yelling and definitely wanted to get away too. All right, let's talk about the happy and then we'll talk about the sad first. The driver of the day.
Driver of the day. I voted for Zhou Guan Yu.
I also voted for Zhou Guan Yu.
The winner is Zhou Guan Yu. Let's go! Zhou Guan Yu just having such a great day. I love that for him. Zhou won with 29.7% of the vote.
That's so many percent.
That's so many percent. The remainder of the people they gave, Max Verstappen with 17.5%. Fair enough. Second to first and stuck
He
it
got
there.
his spot back,
Yeah, he got that spot back.
which he apparently promised he would.
Charles Leclerc with 9.8% of it. Fair. Lando with 8.6%. Fair. Pierre Gasly with 7.4%. Also fair. And then all others getting 27%, which means Zhou did beat out the all other category.
Ooh.
Woohoo! Got the pit stops for this race. Fastest pit stop, Red Bull. No surprise. Sergio Perez specifically, a 2.29 on lap 35, which is kind of slow for Red Bull. They're used to doing 2.0s and roundabout. But 2.29 on lap 35. The slowest pit stop was Ferrari, at least as far as I can tell, because there were like 5 that were slower than this one, but they were all penalty related. So Ferrari with Carlos Sainz doing the whole
Probably the puncture.
puncture, yeah, lap 34. So yes, it was indeed the puncture. A 9.89 second.
God, it seems so much later in lap 34.
It was lap 34. Now I distinctly remember soon after it popping up the thing saying 15 laps to go. We also sat like for an abnormally long amount of time for safety car that they could have cleared up with a virtual safety car in a lap. But you know, cinema. Anyways, your other slower pit stops were Lewis with a 10.44, Norris with a 10.81, Lawson with a 14 flat, Alex with a 14.21, and Stroll with a 15.28, all due to penalties.
It means they nailed the 10 seconds on Lando, though, if his was exactly 10 seconds stationary.
Yeah.
So their timing was on it. To distract you, one thing I was going to mention, too, as we're talking about tires, was remember last year in Qatar with the punctures and all that, it was the mandatory 20 lap.
Oh, yeah,
pit
where they
stops.
had to do it
Yeah.
20 at a time. It does make sense.
And they said, oh, we fixed it with the curbs, but maybe there's more.
There's more there. Maybe all the freaking razor blades of sand all over the track are not helping things. Fastest lap, Lando Norris, lap 56 with a 1:22.384. That's fast.
That's quite fast.
That's quite speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a race.
What a race.
Well, not what a race. What a clusterfuck. What an entertaining period, because I'm not calling that... I don't know if we call that a race.
This race was what the fuck.
Yeah. Or absolute cinema, but everybody's... You said everybody's going to do that, so we're not going to do that. So we did it anyway.
Yeah.
Was there anything else I wanted to get into? Let's talk about... I do want to talk about Sauber real fast.
Yep.
So this was a stat I had ready, no matter what happened, was the last time Sauber scored points was with Ruth Buscom, Divey now, F1 TV presenter and former, obviously, Sauber lead strategist, in Qatar last year, double points finish. So it is fitting that here we are a little over a year, because Qatar was way earlier last year. Thank God they moved it. They get almost another double points. That would have been so good.
It'd have been
But
great.
It would have been awesome. But here we are, basically we'll just say all calendar year per se. Get their next point. So it's been a while. Congratulations, Sauber. Thank you for the points for both of us. So it's a wash anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we would have ended up with the same amount of points from this either way. But I'm glad to see everyone getting points. That's fantastic to see.
And Joe, could be his second to last race. Valtteri, what could be his second to last race. Most likely second to last race. Yeah. Maybe last race for a couple. Again, we'll get to that. Do we want to get to that? Do we want to do that before? No, let's do the stars.
Stars. Stars.
You're going first.
I am going first. Hey, you know those Hear Me Out cakes that are trending right now on TikTok?
What?
Okay.
No.
You don't. Okay. I'm going to need you to pretend like you do for a second. So, hear me out.
Okay, brain rot, got it.
Hear me out.
Skibbity. I want a Japanese doll thing. That's
Listen,
$400.
you're not wrong with brain rot. Number 3, my third star is Lance Stroll. Now, we here at the DSQ podcast usually have a lot to say about Lance Stroll. Rarely any of it good. Just this race, I was ranting and raving about how mad I was for him absolutely clobbering Alex. And yet, sometimes, something that seems like a monumental disaster in life puts you on a path to get you to the place you are now. A prime example of it. Here I am, sitting here in this house, recording this podcast. Best friend of a decade.
Holy shit, world.
Yeah, we are. That being said, if Stroll doesn't absolutely obliterate Alex, his mirror doesn't come off. If Alex's mirror never comes off, Valtteri never sends it to the Shadow Realm. If he never hits that mirror, we never have the absolute chaos that happens 4 laps later. Punctures actually started per, but it still calls pit lane driving, penalty for Lewis, much more.
We cannot prove otherwise. The video review cannot consecutively prove otherwise. Consecutively? Whatever.
All that to say, Lance Stroll was the butterfly effect this race, and I love that for him. So good job, Lance. You're my third star.
Oh, man. We owe it all to Lance. Oh, man. Jesus Christ. I don't know how to follow up with that. I'm just going to go with a good old-fashioned third star of, I'm going to give it to Pierre Gasly for being just a good, steady Alpine boy. Not cussing out his team. Not starting drama. This came out after I picked him as a star. Just, he's been putting in some solid racing in that car that apparently now is okay enough for one of the drivers to have some things. And Alpine went up another place. Who would have thought? Alpine looked like, I feel like at one point we thought Steak was better than Alpine. Now clearly that is not shaking out to be that. But yeah, Pierre. We talk about the biggest gap difference between Checo and Max. Fucking Pierre is carrying that entire the entire country of France on his back. Even though he still lives in Italy, apparently, because Yuki just moved near him in Italy.
Well, I mean, he's probably got like 17 houses.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, no, good job, Pierre. Way to go. Happy to see you in an Alpine next week.
Hopefully.
No, I think he's good.
He should be safe. My second star is also Pierre Gasly. He's been on a tear as of late, and 6 places gained in the race in an Alpine, pretty on course for that. And scoring 10 points to boot, nothing to scoff at either. Pretty uneventful race for him, but sometimes that's all you need when everyone around you is fucking dying.
Uneventful was actually good for this race.
Yeah. If you had an uneventful race, you had a good race.
Like Joe.
Like Joe! Nothing really happened to him, and look at him. He got 8th place.
I mean, I forgot to stipulate prior. My stars are really based on the race because sprint really didn't do much.
Yeah,
it was whatever. So
the sprint was the sprint.
I kind of kept it on really Pierre because Pierre had a good sprint too. Again, same thing, low event. But bless you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I need to get my second star. Again, so based on that, I'm just giving it to Max. Just a solid race. it's a good race. Dominant. He took that 1 place penalty. Apparently, GP was more mad than Max was. But he did allegedly promise George that I'll have that place back by turn 1, and by God, he sure did. And he just ran his race, and May got Lando the penalty, but Lando's like, hey, no hard feelings. I would have done the exact same thing, and I believe him on that too.
That's racing.
They're all racing drivers, and they've proven they do this all the time. Yep. I'm giving it to Max more so. It's a good recovery from what looked like an awful sprint. I feel like Checo would have had a good race if he didn't lose a hydraulic.
Yeah, that sucks. Would he have just lost it if he hadn't had spun out and had to do a 180? Would he have just lost it anyways, or who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
What could have been the butterfly effect, Lance Stroll?
Man.
All right, on to number 1. My first star is Zhou Guanyu. If you told me last week, as I gave Zhou star number 3, that this week I'd be giving him star number 1, I'd assume that a missile hit the track, and he was so far back that he's the only one that survived, and he won by default.
This isn't Saudi Arabia. Well, it's close enough.
It's pretty close. That's an F1 point scorer this year. I'm super happy and proud of him, and I was genuinely cheering him on throughout this race. I wanted to see him succeed. I love seeing underdog drivers do well. Fantastic fucking job, Zhou Guanyu.
I'm going to bring it back to hockey again for a quick second. It's been an underdog weekend. We had Zhou Guanyu. Yes, my first star is obviously this. But yesterday, Jason, that's his brother in Dallas, Nick Robertson for the Toronto Maple Leafs, snake-bitten, cursed this year, finally gets his good, legitimate, beautiful snipes at deep angle behind one of the best goalies in the league with Vasilevsky. His celly, he hurt a vocal cord after the game, apparently. He celebrated, and you could hear it on broadcast, so it doesn't surprise me. Just the amount of joy you saw on Nick Robertson's face to get that goal. Same thing for Zhou Guanyu. Fantastic. Good underdog weekend. I did give my number 1 star overall to Sauber in general because Valtteri still had a good race.
Oh, absolutely.
Did the team game because I feel like he knew he was compromised earlier, so it's like, okay, we're focusing on Zhou. Mirror aside. Yep. So I'm giving it to both drivers. I think they both deserve it, but yes, definitely Zhou for breaking the star up. It's like 75%, 25%.
Yeah.
But Sauber can keep the whole star.
He was absolutely beaming too whenever they were interviewing him afterwards. Oh, I love that for him.
One thing to mention, I guess, as well was speaking of Valtteri, I guess Lawson had his whole thing earlier, went and apologized, and they're all as buddy I'm sure as you can. Going back to my point, Lawson, grow up and be a racer. Don't be a racist, a racer. Seriously, Lawson.
Come on, Lawson.
Someone will take the name away from you. If you know, you know. I think it's on there. I don't know if I just want to bring it up directly, but I'm pretty sure it's on the website.
It's
in the intro.
Literally in the intro. I will listen.
Blake's older, therefore she has rights to the name.
I will hitman smother you out, hop in the race suit, hop in the car, and just drive my little ass off.
Okay. So now let's get to some other stuff. First of all, let's talk about, of course, the penalties are going to be contentious as shit. McLaren has already put in the review for it, so that's obviously going to take happen. It's not going to go anywhere probably because the telemetry was there. Like, you don't really have a... So just reviewing the penalty, I guess, but nothing's going to
have
change.
New evidence that's got to be... It's like 3 criteria and all that bullshit.
Okay, let's talk about Lewis. Lewis was done. Lewis was so far done with this race. And so I'm going to tie in this next part to this next little section I have, and this might be looking forward ahead, but I figured this is a good spot forever. Lewis is not released to do the postseason test. This has been a big thing, mainly talking about Carlos. Carlos is released, so he will do the postseason test with Williams in Abu after last race. What is it, the Monday, Tuesday after the race, or is it the whole weekend? I think it's like during the week.
You've got the scheduling on that?
I don't think I have schedule on that, actually. I think that's speculation. Let's go by what it was. I'm pretty sure it was like
Hearsay.
So Lewis, and it said commercially, so I guess he's got some sponsor stuff he's got to fulfill for his contract. That makes perfect sense. He's Lewis Hamilton. He's got sponsorships out the wazoo.
7 fucking world championships.
Yeah, so Lewis seems very ready to be out of that car. I think that's very clear. There's some jokes of like, what if Lewis just doesn't race for Abu Dhabi? What if he's just like, yo, Kimmy.
Oh, my
have fun.
appendix.
Yeah. I have COVID again. Somehow. Not somehow. It's still out there and still prevalent. You should go get your COVID vaccine updated if you haven't yet. And your flu shot. And if you're mad about that, tough shit. I'm taking a stand. It's not a stand. It's a medical issue. Unless you have a medical reason, then I'll get it. Anyway, rambling. So I think Lewis is still going to be racing next week for Abu. Not that it was like, I think I said because his interview was very much like, yeah, whatever. Clearly, yeah, Lewis is done. I was like, come on, Lewis, you don't want to race Abu Dhabi? It's one of your favorites. Yeah, so that being said, let's get to the big one is Esteban is reportedly,
Allegedly,
maybe,
supposedly.
likely, out. He's done. He's done at Alpine. So Jack will be racing alongside Pierre, reportedly. And part of this was allegedly that, so we talk about Lewis not released, Carlos is released. So I have Ocon, check mark with an asterisk of, if apparently, again, allegedly, because we can't fucking trust anybody in F1 journalism, part of the thing was like, okay, if Alpine too, and I guess he's still under contract technically with Mercedes too, so there's a whole other thing of maybe Merc is in with this shit too.
Yeah.
You don't race Abu, we'll release you to do the postseason test with Haas for next season. So.
Interesting. That's very wild.
Yeah, so things very sour. Like, we knew Alpine was done with him for a while. And, the second, third, the podium in Brazil was like, yeah, we'll put it aside to celebrate this, but clearly, obviously, yeah, no, we're still not good, bro. So, it sucks, I guess, for not getting a proper goodbye, but I guess it's a little different, like, because we're talking about now, there's reports that Checo is not going to race after Abu Dhabi again. There's all this shit again. Can we just wait to announcements? Why need to speculate? Nobody gives a shit. Like, oh, if I report this rumor, I'll be the first one to report it. Like, one, it's not even that crazy anymore, and two, just shut the fuck up.
3, Judge 13's already said it like fucking 20 times before that.
So, like, for Checo to not get a farewell race to, let's say he retires, that's fucked up. Like with Danny Rick. They fucked up Daniel Ricciardo's shit so much. I'm still angry. We should all be angry about it. We should not let Red Bull off the hook for that bullshit.
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
I was like, so Esteban's not really getting a full send-off from Alpine. With that being said, with how the bad blood seems to, I guess it's not really that big of a deal. He'd be at Haas, but I feel like, he doesn't get his post-race interview seemed very send-offish, much like Daniel Ricciardo's did. So that might be it. That's it. I'm excited for Jack. Hopefully he does well. I mean, they're putting... Not that, Esteban's had, a couple DNFs in a row?
Something like that.
And then the podium and then another basically DNF before that. So, but they're in a pretty tight race for a constructor spot that's worth millions of dollars. So, it's Alpine taking a pretty big risk on a junior driver who has not had a lot of time, like the same amount of FP1 time anybody else has. So, like I said, Jack has seemed ready for a while. We haven't seen him on broadcast in a while, so I think he's been doing a lot of sim driving.
Yeah, testing and all that.
So he was like F1 TV's basically second commentator at that point, or commentator presenter.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see on that. Obviously, I do think Checo races, and we do have confirmation that Hajar is going to be in for Max for FP1. I didn't write down everybody we have so far. It's going to be Arthur Leclerc, right? So it's Arthur.
So yeah.
So we'll have all 3 Leclerc boys on the track for FP1.
Woohoo!
So I think Oscar's already set out for Pato. So that being said, of course, we'll figure out. Obviously being the last weekend, so pretty much everybody's shoving their F1 or FP1 drivers out there who hasn't done it yet.
Oh shit, we forgot about something. Fucking throw.
It's probably not important. Felipe Drovic just sitting in the rain. Yeah, she did. He was in the garage. He had a good one of the camera was like below doing a quick pan shot, like
Yeah,
and
pans from left, right.
And he was just sitting there looking, and then right as it was about to cut, he did a quick little, like, semi-Jim face to it. Like, oh, I like it. Yeah, so some more drama about Alpine, so we'll go get... Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We still got 6 days. So, wrapping it up. We're here pretty soon. We got one more week. I'm just trying to lead into the rundown and battles, because the battles is obviously not as... It's a little different here towards the end, even though Constructors was not settled this week, unlike a lot of people thought it would.
So a lot of people thought it was settled. We're going to get into that. But first, we are going to go through the rundown. We have 2 rundowns to get through because, again, it's a sprint weekend, which, yeah. So I'm going to try to blitz through this, especially the sprint one, because...
Did the sprint really change?
I mean, it changed here and there. There were a bunch of plus
Besides
ones,
Checo
minus
fucking
ones.
it up?
Yeah. Well, there was a -6 in there, too, so...
Yeah,
anyways,
it was Yuki, right? I won't talk about it.
It was not Yuki. Yuki was a -1. So, anyways, Qatar sprint. Oscar in first place gained 2 spots. Lando in second place lost a spot. George in third place also lost a spot. Carlos and Charles in 4th and 5th stayed right where they were. Lewis gained a spot to finish P6. Nico Hülkenberg gained 2 spots to finish P7. And Max Verstappen lost 2 spots to round out the points for that and finishing P8. Pierre Gasly finished P9, losing a place, and Kevin Magnussen gained 5 places to finish P10, rounding out your top 10, but no points for that, obviously, because it's a sprint. Fernando Alonso stayed right where he was and finished P11. Valtteri Bottas and Lance Stroll both gain a position each to finish 12th and 13th. Esteban Ocon gains 3 places to finish P14. Alex Albon losing 3 places to finish P15. Liam Lawson, our big loser for the sprint, losing 6 places and finishing in P16. Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda loses 1 place and finishes P17. Franco Colapinto gained 2 spots to finish P18, one of those being Sergio Perez in the pit lane. Zhou Guanyu lost a spot to finish P19, and Sergio Perez finishes P20, having lost 1 place. In the GP, Max Verstappen is your winner. He gained 1 spot in turn 1 and never looked back, finishing P1. Charles Leclerc gained 3 places to finish P2. Also a quiet race and just happened to finish P2.
Yep.
Oscar Piastri gained a spot to finish P3. George Russell lost 3 places to finish P4. Pierre Gasly gaining 6 places to finish P5. Carlos Sainz gaining a position to finish P6. Fernando Alonso a position to gain P7. Zhou Guanyu gaining 4 places to finish P8 in the points. I'm still so happy for you. Kevin Magnussen gaining a spot to finish P9, and Lando Norris rounding out your top 10, losing 7 places to finish P10. Did get the fastest lap, though, so he gets the same amount of points as Kevin Magnussen. P11, Valtteri Bottas gained 2 spots to finish there. Lewis Hamilton lost 6 places to finish P12. Yuki Tsunoda gained a place to finish P13. Liam Lawson gained 3 places to finish P14. Alex Albon, your first and only 1-lap down racer, gaining 1 spot to finish P15. Everyone from this point on is a DNF. Nico Hülkenberg is 16th in the writing, but obviously DNFs don't actually get placed. Gains 2 spots, though, from what he started. Sergio Perez lost 8 places from where he started. Both of them spinning on the same lap, 1 losing hydraulics and 1 beaching themselves.
One losing talent.
Lance Stroll loses 3 places to finish P18, or do not finish P18. Franco Colapinto and Esteban Ocon are 19th and 20th on the writing. Did not gain, did not lose. All 3 of those drivers colliding basically with each other to round out the grid.
Just loss.
It's awful. I hate it. Yeah, that's your rundown. On to battles.
Battles.
I did a slightly different thing for battles this weekend because there's one more race and a lot of, literally everything will be decided next week. There's no sprint, so you don't have to worry about, the extra little 8 points or whatever or anything. I have it set up to what range they can actually finish in. So most of your top 7 are basically battling the person next to them. Lando's in P2, Charles is in P3. They can only finish second and third. Oscar in P4, Carlos in P5. They can only finish fourth and fifth. George in P6, Lewis in P7. They can only finish sixth or seventh. Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso are 8th and ninth, and they are locked in place. They cannot gain or lose any positions. They are too far away from their other people. Because, fun fact, you can only gain up to 26 points now. That's it. 10th place is currently Nico Hulkenberg. He can finish anywhere from where he's at in 10th to 16th place. 17 if Daniels somehow races. Same thing with Pierre. He's in 11th. He can finish in 10th or up to 16th. Yuki Tsunoda in P12 can finish up to 10th or all the way down in 21st.
I will burn.
Yep. But you got to realize, to do that, he would have to be 11th or lower, and Liam would have to win, essentially. So, not happening. Lance Stroll can finish 10th through 22nd, or 23rd if Logan races.
It's
same
just like,
can
screw it, let's bring him back.
right?
Fuck
One
it.
more race, fuck it. And somehow fucking pulls it off and
they
wins.
put Alex out, so it's okay. No, call it Franco versus Logan.
Franco v. Logan. Oh, Lord. All right, but that's the same can be said about P14, which is Esteban, P15, which is Kevin, P16, which is Alex, and P17, which is Daniel, which, again, can't really change. P18 is Ollie Behrman. He can finish anywhere from 12th to 22nd if he were to somehow race this next race. Same can be said about him as can be said about Franco Colapinto, Zhou Guanyu, and Liam Lawson. Valtteri Bottas can only be 13th to 22nd. And Logan can be 13th to 23rd. That's your drivers.
They bring in Logan Sargent.
Battles.
Fucking first place.
Put Logan Sargent
Fastest lap.
in the Mercedes. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, Lewis doesn't want to drive it. Fuck it.
Give him Lewis's fifth gearbox.
Yeah.
Because that's all that he has left. All right, and then on to your constructors. McLaren.
Wait, by the way, who is the champion? Max got it.
Max Verstappen is your champion. Sorry, I forgot. I'm supposed to note that every week. Max Verstappen is your champion with currently 429 points, which is...
I'm laughing, but it's closer. That's been...
Which is 80 points ahead of Lando.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't stand a chance. Yeah, your constructors. It is between McLaren and Ferrari. Red Bull cannot
did
win
get
it.
eliminated this week.
They are 38 points behind. The most that you can score, and it was the easiest way in my mind to remember it. The most a team can score on a non-sprint weekend is 44 points. It's Lewis Hamilton.
It's a Lewis. You got to get Lewis.
You can score up to a Lewis. But yeah, McLaren can only finish first or second. Ferrari can finish first through third, and Red Bull can finish second or third. McLaren with 640 points, Ferrari with 619, and Red Bull with 581 points. Then, of course, we have Mercedes, locked in fourth place. Aston Martin can finish 5th to 7th. Alpine can finish 5th to 9th. Haas can finish 5th to 9th. Toro Rosso can finish 6th to 10th. Williams can finish 6th to 10th. And Sauber, having gained their first points, can finish anywhere from 8th to 10th.
Nice. So, refresh one more time. So, Red Bull cannot... McLaren cannot be first or second. Or McLaren cannot be third.
Correct. McLaren cannot be third.
Okay.
They will finish at least second place.
So Red Bull cannot pass McLaren regardless. So
Correct.
there's no reason for them to be fighting at this point for this last race. It is between... Ferrari needs to be fighting McLaren, so Red Bull needs to be fighting Ferrari.
Yeah.
So they need to team up.
Pretty much. I was like, the more points that McLaren can feed Red Bull is the less places that Ferrari can get. So...
There you go, boys. Get to it.
Of note, Ferrari is only 21 points behind McLaren. So, McLaren somehow DNFs in Abu Dhabi. Lando has a last lap incident like that one time in place at Gear. Ferrari gets a 1-2. Oscar does Oscar things. That's it. Ferrari wins. I was like, really? All they need is one driver's worth of winning.
It's everybody against McLaren.
Pretty much. Yeah, no. I was like, the point differential is just
because it would
not
also
even funny in some parts.
Because Mercedes with Lewis would want, well, not Mercedes, but Lewis would want Ferrari to win, so he has a world championship constructor going in.
Oh, there were a couple of things that were very.
Honestly, the midfield is more important.
Yeah, I think it was the
More fun.
driver stuff that was very. Oh yeah, so Lewis can in fact get 6th place ahead of George if he wins. He has to win. He's
the race.
24 points behind. Who else was very close to that? It was either them or a team. It may have been a team. I know Aston Martin. God, seeing that number every time. Aston Martin being
gap.
354 points down on Mercedes. God. Anyways, 354 points down on Mercedes. They are 33 points ahead of Alpine. Then 5 points ahead of Qhaos, and then 8 points ahead of Toro Rosso. So they can finish 5th through 7th, which means only Qhaos and Alpine could overtake them. 33 and 5 is 38. Sorry, mental math is not my strong suit. That's 38. So they would essentially have to 1-2 that race for Qhaos to overtake Aston Martin, which would be insane, but yeah, not a great outlook for some of those. Most of those are pretty much locked in place. That top 3 is going to be the big contention. Toro Rosso has standing to move up if they can outrace Qhaos. Qhaos could outperform Alpine, depending on how well Jack Doohan does, if that is the correct thing that happens, allegedly.
Nothing confirmed as of now. As I pull up my phone as we talk about Abu Dhabi next week, the end of, as they've said every single time, the longest Formula One calendar in history.
It is, and it is the second most boring race. We're going to jinx this, and I want to jinx this because I need it to be exciting. But God, Abu Dhabi is always so boring.
It needs to be exciting for good reasons.
It is the second most boring track on the calendar, right behind Monaco. Monaco is a procession, and Abu Dhabi is a procession. It's not fun. Even racing there in the F1 games, it's not fun. I have a fucking panic attack every time I go down the straight into what I would call like the handle of the gun, because it just feels so wrong to me, like how the car wants to move there. Hate it.
Oh well, it's all over soon, boys.
It's all over soon.
But yep, we'll get through it. 7 a.m. race on Sunday, and then we are done, and we'll get to celebrate by going to watch hockey after that.
Let's go!
Well, the week after that. Well, the weekend, like 4 days after that. So.
I say let's go. I was like, full disclosure, I'm a Nashville Predators fan. I am on constant surveillance to make sure nothing bad happens to me because, man, we are not doing great.
No. Yeah.
No, we're not doing great.
I'm sure you'll figure it out on the game. With the game we go to, they'll figure it out, and then my team will get destroyed at home. It'll be great. But yep, all right. We'll not ramble because there's a lot. We'll be back with Abu Dhabi for the finale of F1 2024, the video game season.
And then not going to commit to anything
But
date-wise.
Yeah.
But I was like, the plan currently is once we're done with that, the next week we go through the full season recap as well as finishing off our predictions from the start of the year.
Yep.
Which I definitely need to go back and rewatch that episode to make sure that I have everything down.
If all I think the only thing is like the overtakes. I don't know if that's going to be done in time.
Yeah.
But
that one we may still be wondering on. But I mean, I think that one's a yes or no question, and so we should. Hopefully, it won't be a. Oh well, we're within like 10 points of each other. So.
Yeah. Where it all comes down to the last one.
Last one.
All right. Speaking of last one, we'll see you next week for that. Well, of the race. Again, like I said, we'll just have another episode and then another, probably, another season until we stop doing this. So.
Rambles.
Follow the pod everywhere at DSQ Pod. And follow the crew at Medic50 and at GoaluCody30.